Stop the clocks, cut off the telephone, prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone, silence the pianos, and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin and let the mourners come. Hello, I'm Rob, and this week we are talking about death. Specifically death in tabletop role-playing games and why it's a good idea, no, a great idea for you to make a will for your character. For the time may well come when they draw their final breath and pass on to the misty veil of the realms beyond. In a minute, I'm going to explain to you why you should always write a will for your character and my top 5 things that you should include within that will. But first, I thought I'd start things off by telling you about a recent death at our table. After 2 years of playing our current campaign, my character, Winnie, the divination wizard, sadly met her maker at the climax of an epic battle with a mysterious cult leader and his many minions. Now, Winnie did die a hero because in the previous round to the one where she died, she actually scored 256 worth of hit points with a single fireball. It was epic. Sadly, in a stroke of really bad luck after that, she got caught in the blast of an ice storm and down she went, I'm afraid. And she began to make her death saving throws. I failed my first one, but then I made a cocky and slightly costly mistake. You see, as you remember, Winnie is a divination wizard and she had a guaranteed roll of 14 stored away, ready to use on a saving throw. But instead of using that on my next roll, I was planning to wait and use it on my third one should my second one fail. And you can probably see what's happening here. And then I actually asked my best friend to blow on my dice for luck, can you believe? And then put it in my dice tower, and then lo and behold, out comes a natural 1, which of course counts as 2 death save fails. And Winnie was Winnie no more. What happened next was a little anticlimactic. We were playing under a temporary DM. Our current one was having a bit of a hiatus, and one of the players had stepped up to just sort of take over for a simple quest. And perhaps this temporary, less experienced DM wasn't quite ready to give the moment the gravitas that it deserved, or more should be what I wanted it to be. She quickly moved on with the rest of the combat, and then in the aftermath she was far more interested in helping everyone to level up. And who wouldn't be, really? Luckily, to bring it back to Winnie, because it always has to be about me, just kidding, I promise, I had an ace up my sleeve. Winnie's will. I wrote this will a year or so earlier, and I wrote it on parchment, or should I say, I wrote it on paper and then stained it with tea and soy sauce to make it look like parchment. Then I sealed it with wax so no one could look at it, and I gave it to another player in character, to her character, ready to be opened only in the event of Winnie's demise. So what did it say, I hear you ask? Well, I won't go into specifics, but if you really want to know the details, just drop a message in the comments below and I will get back to you, I promise. But instead, here are my top 5 things that all TTRPG wills should include. Number 1, say your thank yous and goodbyes. Now this will mean an awful lot more to you other players at the table if you have thought about it beforehand, and if you put them in writing, even better. It sounds so much nicer than just an off-the-cuff remark to say, you know, thank you for being there. But if you thought about it and put it down in paper, they're going to just appreciate that moment even more. Think about what each character meant to your character. You know, why do you love them? And what do you want them to go on to achieve now that your character's not around to help them? And of course, you can even write about enemies that you want to be vanquished in your name. Number 2, reveal your secrets. This is the perfect opportunity for you to share some things about your backstory which perhaps not yet surfaced in the story, or to let other characters know about secrets that your character has only up until now been privy to. Because if there's a chance that this information will not see the light of day, then it's not up to the DM to you know, go on and try and tell your story after your character's gone, especially if they're, you know, building a new story for another character that you've brought in. But remember that wills are all about closure. Don't, you know, leave things up in the air and the threads of storylines hanging. Make sure it's a done deal so you're all ready to move on. Number 3, and probably the thing that most people think about when they think of writing a will: who do you want to leave your possessions to? All that wonderful loot and, you know, epic weapons that you've won and the gold in your backpack. Where do you want it to go? Because not all parties are made equally. You know, if you don't specifically say, DM might decide that all of your possessions are split between the whole party, whereas you really wanted to leave that +1 greatsword to the character who helped you win it. Or if you're a cleric, you might want to leave all of your gold to the temple that helped bring you up. Be specific, because like the thank yous in number 1, the fact that you're choosing to leave this item to another player will make that item even more special moving forward. You know, who knows, maybe they'll rename it in your honour. Maybe they'll call out your name when they're casting down the big bad who struck your life from the table. Number 4, where do you want to be buried or laid to rest? Think of this as an extension of your backstory. Maybe your character wanted to win your tough father's love, and perhaps being buried in the family plot will be a good way for him to bring his emotions to the fore as he's standing at your graveside. Or perhaps your arch nemesis has always eluded you, and your funeral will be a good time to draw him out into the open so that the rest of the party can vanquish him in your name. This simple funeral request can really help to add a little bit more to your character's arc, even from beyond the grave. Lastly, number 5, and probably the most important thing to include in your will: do you want to be revived, reincarnated, resurrected now that you've gone? Now, some people love their character so much that if chance allows it, or if the DM allows it, I should say, then they want nothing more than to be able to bring them back to life, an extra life, so to speak. And in D&D 5e specifically, there are 6 spells that can facilitate this. Knowing that this was your character's dying wish can really help the other players and the DM to pivot the story and take it in a new direction as they try to bring about this request on your behalf. Now, other players might already have their next character in mind when their current one bites the bullet. Again, clearly laying out that this is not your character's intentions and not the path that they want to take can really help to bring a sense of closure and, you know, stop the group from, let's call it, faffing around too much when what everyone really wants to do is just move forward. Now, once you've got the wording for your will, it's time to make it your own. Bards out there might want to put it into song lyrics. Our old friend ChatGPT can help with that. Or if it's a, you know, present day or a futuristic setting for your campaign, why not put it in like a video log? Or you could always write it in blood, you know, go nuts. So I'll leave it there. If you've got any other suggestions on writing wills within TTRPGs, you know, please leave comments below so that your fellow players can read it and we can share ideas. That's what this is all about after all. And if you liked this video, then please show me by clicking that like button. It takes but a moment. And if you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. And as the aliens from Toy Story would say, I would be eternally grateful. Thank you. And enjoy writing those wills.